Earlier, I found his obituary at Princeton University website where he went. But he was born in Texas. I didn't realize that. I don't know if you ever mentioned that. But
I thought he was a Lawrence Navy.
nope, born in Texas. So far out of his slides, I've seen somewhere around 900 of them. There's 114 images in here. Not all are as colored. There's a few black and white and a few couple other things. But anyway, so this is just about the best about what he did. He took pictures of everything. Cats, automobiles, work equipment, switches, signs, stop signs, crossbucks, everything out on the railroad, including trains. And he made sure he took a picture of a train every 20 seconds as it went past you. A friend of mine's father, Howard Robbins, did the same thing. He'd take a picture a mile away, half mile away, quarter mile away, 500 feet, 100 feet, same way that way. For some reason, but anyway, a lot of guys did that. So I was reading, his magazines are over here if you want to see them after the meeting. You may have some. The National Railway Bulletin. There's 3 articles Mr. Sheppard wrote on CNWC, Columbia, Newberry, and Lawrence, and Ware Shoals Railroad. He also wrote this one called Dear James. He wrote this about himself, and it got put in the National Railway Bulletin. This is basically about his relationship with the general manager of the CNWC and riding the train in September 1941 from Lawrence to Spartanburg.
It's in a back issue of the Carolina Conductor, but I don't know the issue.
Okay. We can find it and then stick it on the website or something.
It's on the website.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. But anyway, he has an article in here, he wrote it about his experience. So, before we get, just 2 quick things before we get started. He made black and white negatives in Lawrence, South Carolina, all these articles up here. 1941-42, he made some in Cornelia, Georgia, some in Spartanburg, some in Clemson, Seneca, Spartanburg, a couple places like that where he rode with his dad on about to a job, whatever his dad did, father did. Marv, do you remember what his father did? I can't quite remember. Very little as World War II really settled in, and there's basically no other photos he took of railroads until the 60s. He went to high school, graduated from high school in Pennsylvania in 1946, graduated from Princeton in 1950, was in the Navy for 3 years, then got a job with South Carolina National Bank in 1954 in Greenville. But you don't see any photos of any trains again because he got married in 62. So you see the life occurrences that happened to him between college and a war and marriage and starting a job. He didn't start taking train pictures again until the mid to late 60s. And most of his photographs are in the 70s and early 80s. Most of the dates in here will be late 70s, early 80s. Fortunately, he did, because he took pictures of hundreds of things that are gone. You can't find evidence of it anymore around here. Bridges, yards, tracks, you name it, the locomotives, everything's just gone. He took pictures of it, which was a really good thing he did. A few other people did, but not as much as, he was pretty anal about his photographs. And some other stuff, but anyway. Riding a bicycle. Stuff. He was a great guy, so I'm glad he was in our organization for years and he was up here. He's a great guy to listen to and find out here. So, without any further ado, we'll get kind of started here.
Before you do start
Yes,
the
ma'am.
pictures, I just wanted to share something with everybody that happened on Saturday at train day. David was going to go back and play with Thomas again, but he had to go to the restroom. We had to wait in line, and so we were standing in the hall, and I was looking at pictures one way, and he was behind me, and I didn't know what he was doing. I just know he's a real good kid, and I didn't have to worry about him running out. And all of a sudden, this little boy said, "Dee Dee," and I turned around and said, "Yes, David." He said, "Is he famous?" And he just had his hand up, and I turned around, and I looked at him, and I looked at Mr. Jim, and I looked at David, and I said, "Well, he sure is to a whole lot of people I know." So, he said it was a great picture.
You talking about the 18,000-foot
Yeah.
high tall thunder growing? Steve Hawkins has no idea why his lawyer for the railroad painted it so large. No idea why he painted that big. So.
Well, it's very impressive in that hallway.
It is.
And especially on a
You can
7-year-old.
thank Bruce for putting it where it is. That's a great place
Well,
for it.
it
It's
is a
really
great place.
Your office didn't have room for it.
No wall space.
There we go. I had to wake my mouse up. Okay. This photograph, the Bulletin magazine said his brother took it, but Jim's notes said his father took it. But anyway, well, somebody did. This is him at 13 years old in his bed in Lawrence reading his very first Trains magazine. And that picture